6 o'clock, and we are going to check if we have enough board members here for a quorum.
Scott Finley.
Here.
Aaron Jennings.
Here.
Chris Ayers. Susan Van Ness.
Here.
Shalia Herring.
Here.
Roger Edwards.
All right. We have a quorum, and we will move on. Let's see. We'll call this meeting to order. Let's start with item number 2, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. We will now move on to item number 3, approval of the minutes for the meeting of December 8th, 2025.
Hi, Chris.
All right, do I get a second? Second. So the minutes are approved. All right, we will now move on to item number 4, general public comment. I have a public comment from Tammy Holt-Still. Does that work?
I don't know. I have not.
Okay, we'll give that. Yes, it can sit it down. And then it should turn on in a moment.
Oh. Thanks. Hi, I'm Tammy Holt-Still, and I'm before you guys today to let you know that tomorrow is a big day for Commissioner Herman and for us. Jeannie Herman is being removed as vice chair on the commission, and we need her to be chair. We have not been chair for 12 years. The chair for the commission sets the agenda, gets things for our community that we have not been able to do. And we need voices to come and say something for 3 minutes to show that we need her support and we need her to be chair, because we have not had our time and our say in that seat for 12 years. So if you can't make it because you work, and I know a lot of you work, but if you know somebody who can come, whether they're part of District 5 or not, we need voices to support District 5. We need our time in that seat. Even if it's for the next 12 months, it's time for us to have that seat. So if you guys can get somebody to come and speak with me, we need it. We need our time to have set the agenda for Washoe County, to try and get some more stuff for us up here. Also, Jeannie is big on the elections, so to make them count, be proper, which Scott's been doing a really good job with also. So we need to support her. So if you guys will spread the word, and hope to see some faces there. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the next public comment we have is from Brian Waitsworth. Wadsworth.
Speaking into
Good evening. My name, for the record, my name is Brian Wadsworth, and I just want to thank the Community Advisory Board for North Valleys for hosting these important meetings for the community as well as everyone here. I'm also a member of the Pyramid Lake Paiute Tribe, and I'm also running for Washoe County Commissioner for District 5. So I just wanted to come introduce myself. I'm born and raised here in Northern Nevada. I grew up on the out of Wadsworth on the Pyramid Lake Reservation, and I currently live in Nixon, and I'm also a former resident of Stead. So Driving out here with the traffic, it's just interesting to see how much this area has grown since I've lived here in the early 2000s. But again, I'm excited to learn more about the issues that are going on here in this area as well as for the remainder of the district. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to do a public comment? All right, we will move on to item number 5, CAP member commissioner announcements, comments. Is there anyone? Nothing. I have nothing to give either. So we will move on to item number 6, public safety updates.
Good evening, for the record, my name is Scott Hughes. I'm the fire captain with Truckee Meadows Fire. I am acting as a tiny chief. So there you go. Nice. Guys, going to give you guys a quick overview over just the call volume that we had in December for this area, and then what it was annually, a little bit of an increase. And then we'll go over just some smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, some information on flooding, burning, and then that'll be it. Pretty short and sweet. For this area, you guys had a total calls for December, 139 responses. Year to date was 2,142 responses in total. That is a 290 incident increase from 2024. So a little bit higher demand, but nothing too crazy. And then moving on, smoke detector, carbon monoxide awareness. We want to emphasize the importance of having those in your homes. We've seen an increase in responses, especially to carbon monoxide detector. A lot of it could be from batteries, faulty detectors, or need to be replaced. So a couple of things to remember is remember smoke detectors always go in your sleeping areas, and then remember CO detectors are outside of your sleeping areas. We want to make sure that it's detected before it gets into where you're sleeping. And then check your detectors monthly and replace them every 10 years. Flood preparation. Remember, we're in the season right now where we get some of those monsoonal weather patterns, and just stay informed. You got snow melt also on top of that. Make sure that you guys clear deep debris from your gutters. You know your what do you call them? Some of your flood areas out in front of your yards, and then also you guys need to find out where sandbag locations are. Those are always located. The county will have that information for you guys. And then just develop a household emergency plan if needed, and don't drive through any flood areas. So, and then open burning. So open burning is current. That's still April 30th. And then just remember that open burning. A couple little things is that it is permitted. You do need permission to burn. That is daily. And then in order to get that information, you guys can get it at our website at Truckee Meadows Fire, and or contact 775-326-6000, option 1, and they'll let you know if today or any day is a permitted burning day. And basically that we have the pleasure of serving the community. We appreciate being here in front of you guys this evening and to report.
Thanks, you one question.
Yes, sir.
The sand piles.
Yes.
She said it was located at the end of Pompey and Lemon Drive.
Okay.
Pompey and Lemon Drive.
Okay.
And there was none.
There was none. Okay.
I don't know if it was over, but I think Lemon Valley got left out.
Yes.
And just in case we flood, but I didn't see any sand piles for us.
Okay. My understanding is that is coordinated through the county. And I can't speak for them, but that would be the best kind of pathway to get that information. They are located sometimes at our fire stations, but we've kind of edged away from that a little bit too. So.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You guys gonna do a green waste deal this spring?
Yes, there will be green waves. They're still working on dates for that.
Awesome, thanks.
Good.
I have a smoke detector that's keep beeping,
Yeah.
but it's electric. Why is it beeping?
Two different types of smoke detectors. So a lot of common smoke detectors in your home are going to be hardwired into your electrical system. So they will have, and they'll also have a battery backup. There also are portable batteries that are all portable smoke detectors that are just have a battery. So if it's beeping and they might have a red light on it, that means that either A, the battery's going dead, or B, it needs to be replaced.
Both the battery and electric.
It's hardwired in, but the battery's there. So in case, say you lose power overnight and you don't have power, and then a fire does occur in your home, that's the backup and it's solar chip. So just make sure batteries replaced. We always say replace batteries when we have the time changes, and then replace the detectors every 10 years.
And novel batteries overcharge.
Yes. Yes. Any additional questions? Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Good evening, North Valleys. Ken Nico, Washoe County Sheriff's Office. Fortunately, I missed you guys last month. I had to come over Zoom, and I know we had some sound issues, so got a little bit of an update for you guys. Don't know why that happens every once in a while. A couple of things for you, mostly via our social media posts. Not a lot of major cases coming out of both valleys in the last month or so, which is not a bad thing. But illegal dumping, there's been a big increase. It's always a problem. I don't know if you guys saw our social media post the other day. Huge thank you to community members. Please, if you see it, call us. We will respond and take care of it. We had somebody dropping, I think it was a total of like 40 plus tires right in the middle of the desert off the roadway. Took care of that. Business is responsible for it. That's something nobody wants to see out in spaces. But please let us know. And thank you to whoever called that in. Also, illegal shooting. As you know, fortunately it's winter time, so we're not having the same fire risk as we do in the middle of summer, but nonetheless, illegal shooting is a problem. Most of our problems are out of Golden Eagle Park and what we refer to as Fort B, which is Spanish Springs. But bullets travel a long ways. We have had numerous incidents right out here on Peavine where somebody goes up there, they're in a congested area and they're shooting their guns, typically new guns, towards populated areas. I had a case a couple of years ago where there was a crew fixing the water tank, the large water tank. They were repainting it, and the bullets were striking the water tank as they were working on it. So bullets travel a whole lot farther than people think, and that's the purpose of these congested areas. So same thing, see somebody shooting too close, worst case, we'll verify. We'll see if they are in the proper area. We can go out. First step is education. If education is going to work, then we can take further steps, of course. Couple things we have going on right now. I've had a lot of questions about a couple of drones people have seen in the air. If you guys have seen the drones flying in Spanish Springs, purpose for that is another social media post we put out about a series of arsons that we believe has been happening since last year in a certain time frame. So our drones, they're not automated. They are being piloted by a sworn deputy sheriff, and they are cruising the area where these fires have been lit out in the open range, and they're looking for individuals out there, possibly up to no bid. So we can send a marketer out there to go see what's going on. So if you've seen that drone, that's one of ours, and that is what we are doing. If you have any questions about that, you can always reach out to us. One other thing for you, the report card for Q1, possibly Q4. I have to look at my last one. Apologies, I don't remember what quarter that was. That will be forthcoming soon. I will be gone for a few months, but my replacement will be one of my sergeants. You guys will be in good hands. I'll make sure he has that report card for you guys. You guys can have some updated statistics on traffic stops, crime trends, and whatever else is pertinent specifically to the area that this cab entails and the area which you guys live. And I believe that's all I have for you guys today. Any questions for me? Yes.
I was given a quote that 50% of your guys' calls comes from homeless. Is that correct?
How many?
40%?
I haven't checked. I don't want to say yes or no, but the way our calls are categorized, I give you just a tiny bit of insight into that. When a call for service comes in, be it a call 911, be it a call from the CARES campus, which is a homeless shelter downtown, that belongs to us, even though it's in downtown Reno. So yes, a lot of calls at a homeless shelter, be it whatever, fights, overdoses, stolen property, whatever. that does come to us, not Reno PD. So that would make up a good chunk. And our south units are responsible for that. So we're not pulling units from Cold Springs to go to downtown, to handle whatever issue they're having at home shelter at that moment. But there's a good number of them. But a lot of the sponsor service are also a function of our HOPE team. Our HOPE team is our homeless outreach, proactive enforcement. Pretty sure that's what he means, apologies. But they're going out there, they're the ones making the contacts. And every time they go out with a camp, to go make those contacts, offer services, to try to get people into housing, Medicaid services, or what have you, that does count as a call for service, even though it's proactive work. So even though it's proactive and they're going out there, that does count as a call for service, even though nobody called. So there are going to be quite a few, yes, but that's what those calls are going to go. Anybody else?
Sir. First of all, great catch with the paper. Secondly, what? Thank you. Where are you going?
Oh, so I got selected to go to Louisville, Kentucky. It's for a command school called the Southern Police Institute. It's like a executive leadership school. And 13 weeks, we have a long history of sending people there. We have a good relationship with them. Our former lieutenant is actually the director of that program. He used to come here to the cabs once upon a time. And he retired. He's in Kentucky now doing that. So I'll be down there for a little bit.
So you could be moving up possibly?
Well, hopefully.
Look forward to it some way.
Oh.
Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions for me? Great. Yes.
I have a question, Katie Finley. I know it wasn't within the last month. It was last time, but we didn't get to talk last time. What do you have? Is there anything that we should be doing or watching for calling in stuff for unsafe like walkways and stuff like that? Because I know someone was hit in Cold Springs. What was it, a month before last? I think it was. Like, are we seeing more pedestrian kind of stuff going on in the North Valleys, or what are we doing?
Yeah, that call out in Cold Springs was circumstances behind it were a little different. There wasn't anything anybody called in to really have changed the outcome to that. The person was arrested for reckless behavior. So, sorry, let's use my big boy voice. For reckless behavior. So nothing would have changed that. But in terms of, I'll answer a question in terms of walkways, roadways, ditches, anything of that nature that needs attention. A lot of people don't know how Washoe County 311 operates. When you go to that Washoe County 311 and you put in whatever your concern is, be it this needs to be fixed, the snow's here, it's piled up, the ditches need to be cleaned, fire has whatever, police issue, parking issues, abandoned property, whatever it is, that goes to a human. And that person looks at it and they shoot it off to the appropriate person. I get stuff on my desk from 311 on a regular basis. It's probably easier to go to washoesheriff.com and just put like a traffic complaint in directly, but nonetheless, it's a different way of doing it and it still finds its way to the right place. So any of those issues, if it's not like a, what we call, RFN right now issue that you need to call in right this second, please utilize that. That'll get to our desk and they can send it to the appropriate people. Homeless camps, big rigs parked on the side of the road for construction that probably shouldn't be there. I can send traffic units out. That's a very, very good place to bring up all those concerns, and then I can divvy those out to the appropriate people.
I got a question. So at Lemon Valley, when you're coming up 395 north and you get off at Lemon Valley, they put that whole new intersection in there, and it says right turn on red from the far right lane. There's no sign that says we're supposed to stop, and people aren't stopping.
Yeah. So regardless, that's one of those education things. That section, while if we see the infraction, we'll take care of it. We're not going to be posted there because that belongs to off-ramp NHP, PD the intersection, but we'll address it if we see it. That one still operates as a stop sign. And effectively, when we pull somebody over, if they just absolutely did not know, we will typically handle these issues at the lowest possible level. So we will say, hey, if education will prevent this problem from happening again, great. If they go, yeah, I know what the rule is, I don't care, you're getting a ticket. So that's where we'll stop that person and be like, hey, according to the manual you read when you got your driver's license, how many years ago that was, it operates as a stop sign regardless. So yes, you are absolutely correct. And if we see it, we'll certainly address it.
Sir.
I live on the north end of Red Rock Road. And I've seen one of my neighbors dump their yard waste on the California side. And I haven't been able to get a video or go talk to them. It's time constraints. One, how important are videos if I can't get a video? And you suggest that I'm trying to talk to them or just calling you guys?
Yeah, there's two parts to that question, I would say. First part is, if you don't want to go talk to them and you want us to, by all means. If it's, you feel unsafe doing so, not going to tell you to go do that first. I don't know who the neighbor is or the relationship with them or whatnot. If you prefer us to handle it, please call. If they're dumping on the California side, the way jurisdiction works, regardless of crime, be it illegal dumping, be it domestic battery, be it robbery, where the crime occurred is the responsible jurisdiction. So yes, the video is helpful because what may end up happening on the California side is you will be the complainant. You will sign a citation for misdemeanor dumping. You have to go to court and prove your side. So if you do that, you're going to have your evidence or prove it, or they'll just take it. It's not worth their time and move on with their life. But basically, with the out there will be a deputy. So I believe Sierra Lassen, depending on where you're at, on that side of the border, they'll come out, they'll hand you the citation. You'll say, "Yes, John Smith, defendant." You sign it. That deputy walks over and says, "You're being cited for this," and the deputy's out of it. Okay. And basically they'll facilitate that citation. So in terms of evidence, my gosh, yes. Pictures, any of that is gold. That will absolutely make that happen. Otherwise, it's old he said, she said case. Right. But if you have the ability to, yes.
Your work cut out.
Okay. All right. Does anyone else have a question? Seeing as no one else, thank you so much for that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.
We will move on to
Just don't stay there.
item number 7, Reno Stead Airport Master Plan. The presentation is given by Jim.
Does this work? You know,
We're not sure if it is, so that's why we're just using this one, which it's not much better.
let me turn. I'm gonna plug in because my laptop will die in the next 10 minutes, so. Okay. Good evening. My name is Jed Hammer. I'm an airport planner at the Reno Tahoe Airport Authority. Tonight, I'm going to be giving an update on the Reno Stead Airport Master Plan. Thank you for having not only myself, but Lissa Butterfield here from the RTAA. We appreciate the time and we're hoping to get as many faces out for outreach as we can. So thank you. I've got about 24 slides tonight. And the way that I'm going to go through it is if you have questions, I can go back to the slide that you have questions on and we can answer them as we go. So just let me know and we can answer whatever you guys are especially interested in. So I'm going to start. As I mentioned, the Reno Tahoe Airport Authority is a system that has both RNO and RTS, Reno and Stead. The mission statement, if you will, is a connected airport system that helps balance the needs of general aviation, military, and commercial aviation while supporting the growth and safety of the entire region. Just a little bit about the Reno Tahoe Airport Authority. It's run by a 9-member board. It was established in 1978. The board is appointed by several jurisdictions, the city of Reno, the city of Sparks, Washoe County, and the RSCVA. And the RTAA is a quasi-municipal corporation that is authorized to independently run RNO and RTS. All right, so these are some fast facts about RNO. As you can see, it's the 67th busiest commercial airport in the United States, averages about 300 flight operations a day. Downtown, as the Reno Stead personnel like to call it, is about 1,450 acres. That holds 2 FBOs, fixed base operators, hangars, and private businesses. The RTA itself has about 270 employees, and another 2,700 call RNO their workplace. There's a diverse aviation community, including cargo, military, and flight schools. The operations from a financial standpoint are self-sufficient, no local taxes, with support from federal grants. It also serves as a community hub, Operation Santa Claus, there's live music, honor flights, Burning Man, and much more. So getting to Stead, Stead is designated by the FAA as what's called a general aviation reliever airport. Right now there's a little over 200 based aircraft, and there's almost 60,000 operations a year. A little bit about the facilities. There's 142 private hangars and 6 are owned by the RTAA. As I mentioned before, the RTS folks call the RNO the small airport. So up here, there's over 5,000 acres of land. As you can see, 3,000 of which is developable. The FAA uses it for a test site for drones. Over the last 15 years, there's been about $100 million invested in airport improvements up here. Major operators are Aviation Classics, BLM, TAC Air, and the Sheriff's Office Raven. Stead also serves as a community hub for the EAA, the Commemorative Air Force, Women in Aviation, Nevada Food Bank, and much more. All right, so I'm going to get into what we're working on now and what exactly it is. So an airport master plan, and this is from what's called an advisory circular that the FAA puts out for, especially for these types of projects. It's a comprehensive study of an airport and usually describes the short, medium, and long-term development plans to meet future aviation demand. So a rule of thumb for short, medium, and long-term is 5, 10, and 20 years. There are, and this is going to be a common refrain for me tonight. The FAA has a strict way, and as those advisory circulars are put out for the airports to follow a master planning process diligently and to the letter. So as part of the master plan, I put up there, guided by the advisory circular 150/5076B. There are a lot of those ACs, and this one is especially geared towards master plans. So right now, we're working on an inventory of existing conditions, as well as an aviation forecast. And I'll point out that items 2 and number 8 on here, both must be approved by the FAA. So the inventory is working on that, is getting worked on now. The aviation forecast as well. We're also looking at facility requirements, a development of alternatives, a CIP capital improvement plan, implementation plan, a financial feasibility analysis, recycling, reuse, and waste reduction plan, and then finally an airport layout plan and airport's geographic information system survey, which also must be approved by the FAA. And then on the right, I did want to make a point of public involvement and stakeholder input throughout the process, and at specific milestones is stressed, and that's what we follow. Getting into the process. So down on the left, bottom left, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've gone through our pre-planning, and I'll talk about it during this PowerPoint. But the FAA had a say in the pre-planning as well. The investigation process is kind of where we're at now as of January 26th. We're working on the inventory, as I mentioned, as well as forecasts, planning activity levels, and facility requirements. So number 3 would be solutions. We're looking at alternatives analysis when that step comes up, and the identification of preferred alternatives. And then after solutions, there's implementation. So that would involve financial planning, the CIP, as I mentioned, final documentation of the master plan, and what's called an airport layout plan, which I don't believe we have in here, but it's over in the offices. It's kind of a blueprint of what's happening at the airport during those short, medium, and long-term timeframes that I mentioned before. And then finally, approval. And that would be through the board at the RTA for approval of the master plan. All right. As I'm sure most of you are probably aware, but I'm going to go through it anyway. A quick history of STED. 1942, it was constructed as a military training center. 3 years later, the airport was deactivated. And then 3 years more after that, it was reactivated by the Nevada Air National Guard 192nd Fighter Squadron. In the late 40s, Stead Airport was named after Lieutenant Croston Stead, who was killed during a P-51 training mission. You've seen the picture downstairs that Danny has put together. Into the 50s, the Stead Air Force Base formally was activated. And then into 63, it was utilized by both the Air Force, Navy, Marines, foreign offices, and most pre-1965 astronauts. Into 66, a quitclaim deed to the city of Reno. And then 1977 is when the Airport Authority of Washoe County, which is now called the Reno Tahoe Airport Authority, was created. So land and obligations were transferred from the city of Reno at that time in 1977. Getting into the Reno Air Races, the National Championship Air Races. Bill Stead at the time started the races in 1964 at a place called Sky Ranch in Spanish Springs. Into 66, Stead becomes a public airport and the air races moved to Stead. And then from 1966 on, over 1,000 acres were acquired to protect the land under the race courses from encroachment around the pylons. An 80-acre ramp was put in, grandstands, large hangars for housing race aircraft, and then the RTA's support of Reno Air Race Associate or RAH. And then I put a bullet in here for obvious economic benefits of the air races. Getting us to today. So the Stead Airport today has over 5,000 acres of land, 2 runways, a little over 200 based aircraft. I already mentioned this, 50,000 plus annual operations. And tenants include TAC Air, BLM, the Army Guard, Aviation Classics, the fixed based operator, Germany Properties, and it's also designated a regional general aviation reliever from the FAA. So this slide is a little jumbled, and that's on purpose because there's a lot happening right now as far as changing dynamics. The last airport master plan was completed about 16 years ago in 2010. So we are well due for another one. As mentioned, the air races departed. The Nevada Army Guard facilities are being redeveloped. There is a regional shortage of GA hangars right now. There's unmanned aerial system operations out on the dirt runway. Increased ops and Varied users prompt the evaluation of a contract tower. Dwindling industrial land availability in the area is an issue, as well as growing interest in non-aeronautical development and nearby housing growth. All right, I'm going to take you through kind of how we got to where we were at today through the master planning process through the FAA. We held a non-mandatory pre-bid meeting in 24 in August at the RTS terminal. 18 local and national firms reached out to the RTA through in-person and conference calls. And then as staff, RTA encouraged participation by local firms, either as the prime or as a sub on a national firm-led team. An RFQ, request for qualifications, was advertised in August of 2024, which closed in September of 24. It identified anticipated services, preliminary scope, and key staff identified challenges. It specified required information for submittal. It was published locally in the RGJ and on the Nevada Government e-Marketplace, or NGEM. And the total time was about 5 weeks between initial publication and due date. So in that time, the SOQs that came back, the statement of qualifications, 7 firms submitted SOQ packets. In October, selection committee of staff advanced the 4 highest ranked teams to formal interviews. And then again in November, a second selection committee comprised of staff as well as 1 member of the RTA Board of Trustees participated in interviews that included a presentation, a detailed and lengthy Q&A session, and a closing statement. And from all this, the selection committee unanimously agreed upon Ardura Incorporated. A little bit about Ardura, our sub-consultant our main consultant for the master planning process is they're based out of Idaho. They have offices in Nevada. They have over 40 years of experience with general aviation. Just in the last 3 years, they've completed over 150 projects at 43 airports, which is remarkable. They've shown successful stakeholder engagement within rural and suburban communities. And then the Ardura team is supported by about 10 subs, 5 of which are also firms registered in Nevada. These are the firms: Aviatrix Communications, Martinez, Jubb, Via Rail, CQC, HMMH, Quadrex, AMCG, and then the locals, Paul Caven, PK, and CFBR. As I mentioned, we can go over these again. If you guys have questions, I can pull up any slide. Okay. I do want to stress this slide, and I do want to get this word out. So right now, the project website is rtsmasterplan.com. We encourage everyone to visit the site, check it out, give us public feedback, give us any kind of feedback, ask questions, that kind of thing. On that site, we'll be advertising public meetings. I'll get into this. The master plan working group will also be a part of this, as well as community pop-up meetings, tenant and user interviews, and NDOT and FAA coordination are all happening within and around the universe of that website. So again, rtsmasterplan.com. Okay, so I mentioned really quickly the master plan working group, and I'm going to kind of tell you what it is and what it's composed of. Right now, it's composed of internal and external stakeholders. Internal includes staff, tenants at the airport, pilots and businesses that use the airport. External stakeholders would include neighboring community members, public agencies with authority/jurisdiction around the airport. Members of the committee are expected to provide technical expertise and represent their local interests and raise issues and concerns. They are tasked with facilitating communication and spreading the word with their constituents. Also encouraged to participate in open dialogue while maintaining respectful discourse. It's kept small to make sure every stakeholder has a voice and opportunity to contribute. And important to note, final decisions rest with the RTA based on the informed decisions that the master plan working group makes. These are the jurisdictions and stakeholders that make up the master plan working group. There are, you can see on here from aviation classics to the FAA. I spoke with, was it Susan? Susan at the beginning of the meeting. There is still, and I'm going to give everyone a heads up. So you're competing with everyone now, Susan. You didn't have you're not a shoo-in. We have a application. If anyone is interested and they live in the 89506 area code, we'd love to hear from you and have the application filled out to see if you become a member of the master plan working group. But I also wanted to note, even if you're not a member of the master plan working group, there's still plenty of opportunities to provide meaningful input. And I'll get into these as we go. All right, so this is a milestone slide of kind of where we're at and how the FAA runs an airport master plan. The four bubbles the 8 bubbles that you can see kind of go with the components that I went over earlier. We're at between the existing conditions and the aviation forecast portion of the master plan right now. You can see the gray ribbon underneath the main blue are the longer term. I mentioned the GIS survey that's happening, as well as we'll be getting into the ALP development. That's the airport layout plan. And then into late 26, or I'm sorry, early 27, final documents are expected as deliverables. So as you can see, we're still early in the process, but we're really excited. Next steps. As mentioned, a draft inventory of the existing conditions are expected in late January this month. Once finalized, that chapter will be posted on the website. And then in March, we're expecting a draft aviation forecast. Once finalized, that chapter will be sent to the FAA. And then once it's approved by the FAA, we'll put it on the website. And then we're looking at the spring summer timeframe as far as next steps for the first public meeting. All right, project team contact information. In addition to Alyssa that I already mentioned, many of you probably know Scott Gordon out here. He's the airport manager. If not, he has an open office and he's always open to people coming in and talking about the airport and what's going on. I also did want to plug that both Lissa and I will be up instead on Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. for anyone to come in and ask questions or go over what we're going over at the time. We, again, welcome any and all during those time frames. So if you're interested, please stop by. Not only do we have the office hours posted in the admin offices over there, but they are also on the website again. So with that, I am finished with my presentation. Are there any questions from the cab?
Would you have any input on the what was it, the sulfur lithium battery plant that was proposed?
So at this point, no. I don't know any, and I know I can see Lissa getting up because she does. I don't have a specific answer for you, but I know Lissa does. So go ahead.
For the record, Lissa Butterfield. Negotiations with the sulfur battery company have ended. So we do not have a lease with them, and the airport authority does not expect negotiations for a lease to start and get up again anytime soon.
That's a shame.
There's been significant changes in that company's business. They're primarily concentrated in Europe now.
Does anyone else have a question that they'd like to ask?
Liz is gonna come in with the good news and I'm gonna give you all the bad news.
Perfect, right? Tammy
Pop
Holtzville?
back up.
Yes, what, besides that was 2010 was the last master plan, what's the driving force behind this?
Besides the time frame needing to happen?
Well, what's driving for this master plan to have such a major,
I'm going back to my slide and I can answer that question in a little more detail.
So simplistically, let me just throw in simplistically, the FAA has an expectation that airport master plans are redone every 10 to 15 years.
okay,
So we've already expired that because a master plan is only projecting for about 20 years. No master plans typically get it right. So before you hit that kind of 20-year mark, you probably have to redo things. But the slide Jed has pulled up is a perfect example. None of those items that is showing on that slide were considered in 2010. So our 2010 master plan does not address any of those issues specifically, and they are all current issues that have been in place for quite a while that need to be addressed.
okay,
From
so
a
it
high level.
has, I guess where I'm going is an ex-commissioner wanted the FAA or wanted this to become a commercial hub for UPS to bring their stuff in. That's not a driving force, correct?
That would be and I'm gonna tread lightly here because there are a number of different rumors that are flying around. That is one of the rumors. I can answer that question or that comment in fairly simple. As part of the master plan, we're going to be looking at different components that make up how an airport works. And as part of that analysis, if cargo planes have a interest in relocating to the airport, a number of infrastructure questions need to be answered. Will the taxiways and runways support larger airplanes of that size? Currently, they do not. Is there snow removal for a 24/7 operation at Stead? Currently, there is not. There are a number of other issues that kind of go through that same question and answer of if this were to occur, then this needs to happen. My answer to that question is if that were to occur, there are so many steps that lead up to that point that between here and the vision of that is so foggy and over the horizon that I don't think anyone can see that. So to look at those evaluations realistically, that's where the master plan would come into view and look at those things based on that. I'm not saying that cargo is going to be up here, and I'm not saying cargo is not going to be up here, but I can stand up here in confidence and say it's going to require a lot of infrastructure for that to occur. And I hope that answers your question. Does it?
It does, but it doesn't, yes.
That's what I was trying to do.
In
No,
other words, I can tell you that I would hope that you would realize that there would be a major fight from residents for something like that.
I understand, and I think the point I'm trying to make is it's something that could be evaluated, but I don't know how positively it would be evaluated.
Because I do know that when it was brought up by that commissioner, that the head of the airport at that time said there was too much cost to redo this airport to meet FAA standards, was her words.
Yeah, those would be the infrastructure changes that you mentioned.
Yes, sir.
So now that the battery plant's not going in and I don't have to move, can we have the air races back?
I'm not the one to talk to about that,
I
unfortunately.
don't know about getting them back.
I think you're gonna have to arm wrestle Roswell actually now, because they really did a good job down there. I'm not sure.
I heard some of the other big plastic companies too thrilled with their facility.
Gotta talk to Eddie Larkman, and we have to get Eddie Larkman.
I got one more question for you. In the past, you used to hold SCCA autocross races here.
Yes.
Why can't we bring that back?
What part of the airport were they held at?
I agree.
I don't know.
Or were they held on BLM land?
I'm not sure. I just know that they were held here at one time.
I'm not familiar. What is that?
It's just a club, nationwide club event for auto enthusiasts who come out and they do like a timed lap in an area.
Okay.
A lot of airports are utilized for that. And I know that I think it was like 90s, early 2000s, it might have been used here, but now they're down at the fire training grounds over by Long.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not negative.
So assuming they weren't on BLM land, and the BLM land that's to the northeast is, I think, all dirt tracks. It's not paved. So assuming they were here, if there was interest for any of that, all they have to do is talk to Scott Gordon, our STED airport manager, who put him in touch with our department that handles leases and short-term things like that. I know there's been a number of companies that have reached out to us since the STED air races have gone, wanting to know if we would facilitate auto shows, but none of them have really been serious inquiries. But it's all a potential.
Great.
You're welcome.
Does anyone else have a question? Ma'am?
Yeah, I'm gonna new. to the
Sorry,
area.
could you also state your name?
Kind of the area, you're saying there's 3,000 developable acres, is that included in your,
Hold on, yeah, I'll be Vanna White. So this yellow line shows the Airport Authority property boundaries. Most of this land is in the city of Reno. This land that we own up here is in Washoe County. So there's 5,000 plus acres in that whole area. And there's about 3,000 of that could be developed into something at some point, probably outside of my lifetime, but
so would they sell it?
no, we would keep it.
You would lease it?
Yeah.
So. And if you did bring in an industrial park. And dwelling industrial land availability, would then you help with the infrastructure on the neighboring streets when you're bringing in all that traffic? Since the planning commission, our Washoe County Planning Commission, they just build, and they put basically the cart before the horse. They don't plan on infrastructure first before they allow 12,000 homes being built. So I'm just saying, if you're gonna put a huge, I guess the battery lithium place got turned down, but was somebody going to help with the infrastructure in and out of the facility?
Well, the ultimate permitting for any kind of, and let me start off by saying any kind of solid plan for anything that you're asking about is, I can't answer right now. It's so far away that's why we're doing the master plan to evaluate that. But ultimately, any kind of permitting would still need to go through the city of Reno. And also the RTC as a jurisdiction that would be affected by the transportation liens. And then, as Lisa mentioned, in the North Washoe County. So to repeat your question so that I can confirm that if I can answer it or not, is your question is, are we looking at developing and the sphere around the airport? Are we looking at what those possible developments might need in terms of other infrastructure? Is that your question?
Right. And improving the current infrastructure with the increase of traffic, because right now, that's not happening anywhere in any of Washoe County. They just plan more development and negate or ignore the infrastructure.
Yeah,
I have problems coming into the North Valley as you do.
I'm gonna reiterate what I said, and then I know
Right,
this
so I
has
understand that, it's,
no, Melissa has a better question or a better answer for you, but ultimately, again, if anything does need to be permitted, the airport will not permit it. It will be the local jurisdictions that will ultimately decide that. Do you want to add anything to that?
Let me give some additional context. So we're kind of a weird entity. We don't have any permitting authority. We don't have any land use control. The city will treat us like any private property owner, right? So if we want to build something on our property, or if we want to lease land on our property to somebody else who's going to build it, they've got to follow whatever the requirements are within the city of Reno or Washoe County, depending on which side of the airport we're building on. And so we wouldn't invest in infrastructure off the airport unless we were directed to by the city of Reno or Washoe County, because that just honestly isn't how, permitting.
so you just
goes.
recently,
For the most part, I mean, as Jed mentioned, nearly every hangar on the airport is actually owned by someone else. They're on a ground lease. That's different than Reno Tahoe. At Reno Tahoe, we own a lot of those facilities, right? We own the terminal building and the concourses and those types of things. But one of the reasons why the working group includes RTC and the city of Reno and Washoe County is so that they understand what kind of growth we might be seeing. And those stakeholders on the working group can tell us, if you're going to put a gigafactory up there in the north, then either that developer or the airport is going to have to help fund roadway capacity on Lemon, for instance, right? So they're part of that working group so that they can start to be involved 20 years before some of this stuff happens. It's just I've been with the airport authority since 2003. And since 2003, the Stead Airport has had 2 new buildings constructed, not counting what the Guard has done over the past 10 years. We built a new terminal that replaced a pilot lounge and an old trailer that housed the airport offices. And Dermody has built 1 industrial warehouse, 20 plus years. So getting proactive would be definitely putting the cart before the horse. In terms of how quickly growth happens on this airport. Does that mention?
Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Veronica Cortez, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yes, Katie Finley. Just curiosity's sake, do you know if your guys' business is entertaining offers from other since the lithium sulfur factory is not going to come in? Has there been any other inquiries?
I do not know.
Oh.
And I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't know.
The Dermody building doesn't have a tenant yet.
Yeah, fixed price.
Thank you, Veronica Cortez. I live over in Sun Valley, coming down O'Brien's Pass, and during the air show and the races, I would always get a free show. So I heard the air races are not coming, but the air show, is that happen out here still? All that is done.
Yeah.
So then you were talking about calling the airport manager in order to do like rental space for a community event coming in. Okay. So that's perfect. We have a lot of people in the North Valleys looking for venues to do community events since it's so hard, doing things in other places. So this is a perfect opportunity for us to bring some more
So you're
revenue
gonna
in this
wanna
area.
talk to Scott Gordon.
Absolutely,
manager,
yeah.
And then also Danny Austin Cox, who is the operations specialist up here.
I'm excited about this. Yeah, I've had groups come to me looking for a place big enough to do their events. So I'm excited. Thank you for the information.
You're welcome.
Does anyone else have a question?
Just remember, any event here, the 2 most things the community is most sensitive to are noise and truck traffic and vehicle traffic. So if you do want an event here, just be prepared to help us answer those questions.
Absolutely.
Sir?
Yeah, Rob Pierce for the record. Are you guys entertaining any companies in terms of data centers? Nobody's.
Not as far as I know.
Haven't heard. No.
Does anyone else have a final question they would like to ask? Seeing as none, thank you so much for all.
'Cause We're also happy to come back to future meetings. We'll certainly reach out when we're at critical milestones. The next major milestone is going to be the facility requirements section. As Jed mentioned, once we finish the existing conditions inventory, which is kind of a survey of what we have, and then do the forecast, we need to reanalyze what we have to figure out if our facilities actually will support what we think our operations are going to be. So that's kind of a good time to come out to try to get some feedback and input from everyone at that.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
We'll move on to item number 8, neighborhood development hub and other engagement opportunities.
Hi, Casey McDonald, Commissioner's Report for the record. Just one quick thing, looks like we have coming up a development meeting, or neighborhood meeting for District 5 on the 20th. It's a virtual meeting only, and it looks all the way on Osage Road out in Red Rock. And it looks like it's to be a mile of road improvements. That is all I saw for upcoming developments for District 5. And I had no other announcement.
All right, we will move on to item number 9, CAB member commissioner announcements request.
Agenda request.
Yeah.
Further down.
You can request anything to be added to the agenda at this point.
Susan Venice. I would like the county, I would like to request someone from our ROV. Please come and address us, because I think we've got a lot of questions that we can't get answered in the commission meeting. And some of you know some of us and some of you don't, that we've been very involved with the elections. Starting in right after 2020, and we have turned over ROVs as, well, I won't even say that, but we've gone through several ROVs. And this ROV seems to not want to speak with us too much, and I think we've got a lot of questions before this coming election. I would also ask for everybody, if they got a postcard in the mail, please keep that postcard, please take a picture of it. And I would like a group to come together. I want to discuss something about those postcards. Did you all get one?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't get one? Okay. So this is just the precursor to the mailed out ballots. And I would like to share some of our knowledge that we have from working in the election since 2020. And I mean, Scott and I talked about this before, bringing together precincts out here and just having discussions so that we can all talk, because our elections are very important. And what we vote, how we vote our ballots should be counted the way each citizen counted. It's not. And that's no more conspiracy. And now we know we're working with national groups, and we're working with our own. But what we need are citizens. We need to get together and share our knowledge. Keep whatever you get in the mail. Keep it, please. Take a picture of it. And we can discuss some of the things that we've seen already.
So you want to have somebody come out from the ROV, kind of give an update on what they're going to be doing for that?
Yeah, I would like the head of the ROV, Andrew, but I doubt that he will come, but.
Okay. Do you have anything you want to agendize or comment?
Election.
No, I don't have anything with it.
Okay. Seeing as nobody, and I myself do not, seeing as nobody else has anything they would like to say, we will move on to item number 10, general public comment. Let's see, we have Rob Pierce.
Hi, my name is Rob Pierce. I am a Navy vet, an ex-cab member, and I have lived in Reno since 1988. I'm announcing my intentions to run for Washoe County Commission, District 5. My wife and I moved to an unincorporated area town that we live in right now in 1992 and thought we had found our forever home. We raised 3 perfect girls there, and they became the people that they are today through college. We moved out there for the good neighbors, for the dark skies, and for space. There's a sense of pride being out in a rural lifestyle. But a developer came in and they changed our rural lifestyle. We lost what we had in terms of open space and our desired lifestyles. I personally believe that it's not right to just complain about something and sit on the fence and watch it happen. So I thought that I could stop development. So I started applying for boards at Washoe County. I got appointed to the Board of Adjustment. And then I found out what that was about. And then another board came available. I got appointed to that. And before I knew it, I was on 7 different boards. I'm on your Planning Commission. I'm on your Board of Adjustments. I'm on this airport board that they were just talking about. I'm on another airport board. I'm on a regional planning, I'm on the Regional Planning Commission as your chairman. I'm also on a regional RTC board and several other boards. I see what's happening. I see what's happening out here. I see what's happening to you guys, and I hear you. I have learned over the years that it's very common to get overridden by the county commissioners. We may make a decision to go against a project, and they'll just come in and override us. We don't say, this project's going to go here. We get a staff report. We have 7 days to go over it. They've made the decision. It's our job to go in and see if it checks all the boxes. The North Valley's District 5 has been the short end of the stick for a long time. But I believe that through the boards and commissions that I'm on, I'm starting to make a difference. Things are starting to change. People are starting to recognize us, and they're starting to see that we are getting the short end of the stick. But the problem is my time is running out. I don't have a whole bunch of time left, and yet I've got a plan that I want to accomplish to help all of us in District 5 and the North Valleys. But this is where I need your vote. This is where I need your help. I need your support to come behind me and elect me as your county commissioner, because I will stand behind you, and I will fight for smart growth and everything that goes along with it. We need our drain ditches fixed. We need our roads fixed. And we need the recognition and the support that we're not getting. But I am the right candidate for that. And I hope that I can get all of your support. Thank you.
Thank you for that public comment. And we will now, Veronica Cortez.
Thank you. Good evening, CAB. My name is Veronica Cortez, part of the CAB out in Sun Valley. Very proud working on 2 years there. But right now I'm coming as a concerned citizen of Sun Valley. I'm on the, northern part of Sun Valley. I wanted to bring attention to a planning and developing meeting that happened in November, where they wanted to change in Sun Valley specifically 1 acre, 3 mobile homes to 14 unit families. Okay. The options were 10, 12, or 14. Okay. Right here, existing master plan, suburban residential, 3 acre single family, 2, 10, 12, or 14 acre manufactured home park, or single family, multi, what they're called. Okay, so we went. 2 people from the CAB went, 1 public comment went. This is how it went. Just gonna read the highlighted part. Developer said the plan was all put together so that the traffic scenario could be established for a study. Commissioner Owens, she is the District 3 one. Carol Burns spoke. She goes to every single CAB. She's been out in the valley since day 1. She spoke about her concern about the additional traffic generated by the construction of Pyramid Highway. and how the development would only cause more stress and traffic. If you've been through Sun Valley, you know it. Mark Newman, who's a great representative of ours, he's on the SVGID, also the CAB. He said that the frustration and the inaccurate traffic studies because the Highland Ranch one they did during COVID, so nobody was driving, and the Sun Valley study they did off 2nd Street, so they didn't even do it off of Sun Valley Boulevard. So these are two studies that were very inaccurate for the area. Then I went up and I explained how I was on the CAB, how the traffic needed to be addressed before we go forward with these plans, and I urged the Planning Commission not to approve the project. Commissioner Owens from 3 said, we don't even have a grocery store or a bank. How are you expecting more people to live out here when we don't even have services for what we have now? Then the vice chairman came on. I'm not going to say any names. He said he didn't think the traffic in the area was too bad. He thought this was a perfect project for the area and would support it. So he was for the developers. Then Lazarecki said he had trouble making findings 5 and 6. Commissioner Flick expressed frustration about the amount of approved developments resulting in an inundation of automobiles. So we already have commissioners, CAB members, and public opinion say we don't want this. But then again, there we got the vice chair. He just said that why don't we cycle? He pointed out that cycling and walking are viable options in this area and saying it is bad, but he compared the traffic to Red Rock because that's where he lives. So traffic's not that bad. It is bad, but it's not that bad according to his statements. You can pull this up. This is in the meetings from the November 4th Planning Commission. Then Gustafson came in, the district attorney, and cautioned the Planning Commission that they better do the right thing because apparently the people that are running for office are listening to us. But according to these minutes, they're not. So we had Commissioner Kennedy, we had Commissioner Owens, we had Commissioner Lazarecki. They all voted no. But because we didn't get that one, it was 4-3. We lost. We lost. And it says on the website that they should listen to the cabs. We're the ones that have the information. We had a public comment of the lady who lives out there forever. She attends every CAB meeting and she's on Tonga. She's not even in SVID and she still fights for our valley. We had 2 people from the CAB saying, work on traffic first. Bring it in. Bring on the development, but first you got to work on the infrastructure. And we have that vice chair against us the whole time. No, no, no. We want it. We want it. And the only thing that came out of this meeting is that we had them go for the developers and not for the people. So in these next year elections, when these people are running, look what they did last year. Were they working for the people or were they working for the planners? They had a study right here from RTC about walking and cycling that he recommended. It says right here, there's not enough street lighting. There's too much traffic. They're going too fast. There's lack of sidewalks and crossing the street does not feel safe. This is strictly Sun Valley. Thank you for your time. Veronica Cortez, District 5. Can't wait to everybody.
Is there anyone else that would like to give public comment? Seeing as there is no one. All right, we will move on to item number 11, adjournment. Does anybody want to make a motion?
I make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. And we are adjourned.